Okay, so you might have been waiting for this, and things came up, and I got delayed. So apologies. I intended to do restoration along with the other two shaman specs to have all three done, and things got in the way. However, that means I've had more time to play around with restoration since, which is a good and a bad thing, since restoration is usually the spec I'll play, especially at end game. So, I think in the last video I was 65, so I got to 66, did 2 levels of dungeons, 2 levels of PvP, reached max level, did went right into doing just random battlegrounds because I wanted to do rated PvP. Tried to do some rated. I've done some Mythic Plus for the weekly quest. I've done some time walking for the weekly quest. So I've had a chance to do just about everything, short of raids. Um, so I will try to make this simplified. I don't know how simplified it's going to be, but I will try to make this simplified, go over the talents and the abilities, and then go over my experience with everything else. So, first of all, with the talents, I made some changes. I played around with different things. I did away with mana tide totem just because I don't need it. I don't use it. It doesn't benefit me specifically that much, so it just really wasn't doing me much good. Unless you're in a raid, this really doesn't do a lot of good, I would say, or unless you're in a Mythic Plus group that is heavy with mana using classes. Um, it doesn't specifically target healers as the priest ability equivalent of this does. I also did away with Earth Living weapon to begin with and Ascendant. So I had points in Ancestral Awakenings, which basically just aid you healing. Um, when you critically heal with Healing Wave, Healing Surge, or Riptide, and I used 2 of those 3. You summon an ancestral spirit, which I never saw in all the time I had this. Um, Instantly healing the lowest percentage health friendly party or raid target within 40 yards for 10% of the amount healed. Also kept playing around with Primal Tide Core. Every 4 casts of Riptide applies Riptide to another friendly target. Sounds really good. It was really throwing me off because I wasn't using Riptide a whole lot. I said in when I was resetting the talents that I don't do a lot of DPS and healing. That actually did not end up being all that true as I was leveling. Um, I actually have done a fair amount of DPS. I have a bit of a hybrid build right now. Um, you can tell I played a lot of Monk, mostly Monk, through Shadowlands because I keep trying to hybrid build everything so it does damage and healing. So, kept playing around with those. It just kept throwing me off because I kept prioritizing Riptide instead of using it when I needed it. So it was always on cooldown, so I never had it when I needed it, and it kept throwing me off because I kept feeling like I wasn't getting the full benefit of this. And honestly, I couldn't tell where it was doing a lot of difference anyway. Um, so went ahead and I kept Ancestral Awakening for the longest time because I was hellbent. I was gonna see. It doesn't really. It just says when you critically heal. So I wasn't sure if I just wasn't getting a critical heal, because critical strike should be your highest stat by default, just because of the way stats on gear is. It's usually haste and mastery that you have to um, kind of work for and swap gear out for. Um, so I took Ascendance back because I was using Healing Tide Totem a lot, and I needed one more kind of big uh, uh, one more big AoE heal. Um, so Ascendance does that perfectly fine. I also took away Healing Wave and Water Shield because I wasn't using it. I was using Lightning Shield a lot in um, PvP, and even after I had swapped out later on down the line, after I had swapped out my PvP talent for Unleash Shield, which gives each one of the three a different effect, I still just wasn't using it all that much. And I wasn't using Healing Wave. Um, if you don't know, most healing classes will get two big single target heals. One will be a low cost, slower heal, and one will be a high cost, faster heal. So you either have a low mana cost and a slow cast time, or you have a high mana cost and a quick cast time. So I've seen healers, depending on your class, do it a few different ways. Some will use both and go back and forth to worry about uh, mana management. I just stick with Healing Surge. This is your emergency button. You shouldn't be using it all the time. Um, so again, you kind of have to take something you didn't want for something you did want. So when I started doing Mythic Plus and time walking and stuff, dungeons, any kind of an instance, dungeons, raids, I would say take Water Shield. Not so much that you're going to run out of mana, but just to keep your mana topped up. Especially in Dragonflight dungeons. They are tuned really weird. Um, for anyone that still plays that complained about Cataclysm dungeons, you're probably having a field day with these. I was very surprised leveling max level. They're just tuned really weird. And they have really weird mechanics for some of the things you have to do. So, Water Shield definitely will help. I've only ran out of mana maybe a couple, two, three times out of everything I've done, leveling, max level, and all of that. And some of that is not so much in a Mythic Plus, for example. I don't know how much the tank really knew the dungeon and what we were actually doing. Um, so I was healing more and I was spamming chain heal, which you can't do. I should have known better. Um, Most healers, especially, I would say shaman healers, you kind of have to stack your healing. Um, so it was right from the beginning. It was right when we were starting. So we were still, I think we were still trying to like figure, get our bearings of what we were doing. So outside of things like that, and that was the case in some of the other Dragonflight dungeons, like it was just a really weird group, so I wasn't able to heal, um, you know, kind of set a pace for healing. It was kind of, oh, we're about to die or something like that. So I would definitely say take Water Shield just to help keep yourself topped up. I went back to Earthen Living just because it's Riptide, Healing Wave, Healing Surge, and Chain Heal. So I used three of those four. Um, 20% chance to trigger Earthen Living on the target and healing them for almost 6,000 over 12 seconds. That's pretty good. It's basically giving you another um, kind of a much smaller Riptide. So it's about 1/3 ish what Riptide is, give or take. Um, and then of course I took Ascendance back. Eventually gave up on Ancestral Awakening. I was looking at Recount. I was looking as I was swapping things around at the leaderboard in Battlegrounds, and I could not tell a difference. I cannot tell you if this actually worked or not. Never saw anything else. Nothing. Um, I thought one time when I was in Ghost Wolf form, I thought I saw like a little thing, but it ended up being something else. So I have no clue. It's one of those weird abilities that seems self-explanatory until you actually kind of think about it, and then yeah. So critical strike has been one of my higher stats the entire time. I've actually struggled with haste more than I have anything else. So um, eventually gave up on this. Um, what else? I think everything else I already had off the top of my head. Um, at least for the restoration talents. For the shaman talents, so as I said, really weird. Really, as you get lower in the tree, um, has more of an emphasis on um, totems, which makes no sense. I was actually thinking about it. The totem that is in the loading screen for Shaman, I believe it was the Searing totem, we don't even have that in the game anymore. So I don't know that there's any fire um, totems left in the game other than Magma totem, which I think, um, or Molten. Well, hold on here. Let me just look for totem. Let's do that and see. Well, that ain't it. That ain't it. I think it's exclusive to, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure it's exclusive to at least DPS, if not enhancement, I want to say. Yeah. Yeah, don't even have fire totem. Let me see. If you actually type in fire totem, what does it come up with anything? Nope. Okay, well if you type in water totem, does it come up with anything? Nope. Okay, well there you go. So much for searching by the elements. Or wait, did it? Was I too quick with the? Oh yeah, it did. It came up with. Oh, that's because it's water totem master. Okay, so it was in the name. So, um, anyway, I digress. So I had totemic focus, which I just never used any of this. Like, there's so much of this that I wasn't benefiting from. The increased range was pretty much the only thing. Um, I used Healing Stream Totem, don't use Tremor, don't use Poison Cleansing, don't use Ancestral Protection, don't use Earthen Wall, don't use Wind Rush. So you can see a lot of this just wasn't even benefiting from. So swapped this out for Ancestral Guidance, which is normally something that I've really only used for enhancement, because I'm pretty sure back when they changed the trees to the what would now be the old talent trees, this was exclusive for enhancement, I want to say. Seems like. I remember using it. I remember getting it and using it a lot doing dailies in Miss. And it worked really well for that because enhancement was a burst damage spec. So you could pop this if you were um, fighting a rare or something like a mini boss, and an elite. Miss is known for their elites scattered around. And you could keep yourself between um, your guardian, your earth elemental, your fire totem, your searing totem that you don't have anymore, um, your spirit wolves, which I believe still healed you a percentage at that point, um, and and um, and this ancestral guidance. It was enough that you could keep yourself topped up. It was just that little bit that you needed to keep yourself topped up. So I took it out of curiosity, more somewhat for nostalgia's sake. Um, I really like the combination of Healing Stream Totem and Swirling Currents. So after you've used Healing Stream Totem, which is not enough on its own to keep you alive, um, you the next time you use the next three Healing Surges, Healing Wave, or Riptide. On the DPS specs, I'm pretty sure it's just Healing Surge. Will heal you for 25% more, which is actually really nice because you can spend less time healing using your mana. Um, I really kind of like this combination. It's a little bit weird that you would use Healing Stream Totem um, in correlation with like a single target heal, especially one that's going to be used for just on yourself as DPS usually. Um, However, it is kind of nice that it's there. So took that. I swapped out um, Enfeeblement for um, was it? Yeah, Stone Skin Totem. Thought maybe I'm missing something here. This was supposed to reduce physical damage by 10%. Again, could not tell you what difference this made. I used it in I don't know how many battlegrounds. Physical damage is, if I'm not mistaken, like the best of the damage types you can have. However, it's very scarce. It's usually more reserved for melee classes. Um, so I tried to use it when I thought it was appropriate, when there were melee classes around. A lot of warriors in um, PvP, which warrior is probably the class I play the least. I do know they have a lot of abilities that, at least some abilities that do physical damage. Just any type of melee class should be doing some kind of, usually has like one, two abilities that do physical damage. Not so much on caster types for obvious reasons. So I tried to use this. It worked fine. I could never tell if it was doing anything. So I just eventually swapped back. Even if the hex ends, the target is still slowed. Slowed by 70% for 4 seconds. So that just seemed like more of a benefit. Um, you don't tend to use hex a lot because most players in PvP are kind of used to playing around it. At this point, like they'd never really stay hexed that long, um, or polymorphed that long generally. A lot of people don't have trinkets right now because they were leveling or gearing or what have you. So there was that kind of an issue, but normally any kind of like CC like that generally doesn't last that long. Um, so other than that, those were kind of the changes I made. Like I just kind of kept swapping back and forth to different things. I would take Earth Living Weapon. Then I'd swap it out for something else. I'd take Primal Tide Core, then I'd swap it out for something else. As I said, had Ascendant, swapped it out. Eventually, just took Healing Wave and Water Shield back. As I said, I'm fine with those. I've kind of resigned myself to I need Water Shield. So, yeah. Also, would mention that Brimming with Life. I took it just to kind of see what it did because it interacted with Reincarnation. Um, and Reincarnation, of course, for Shaman, it's like the one thing that Shaman have over every other class, and it actually works really well. I'm really happy with this. So it's a little weird how it's worded. Um, while Reincarnation is off cooldown, your maximum health is increased. So there's one effect. When you're at maximum health, the cooldown is reduced, the cooldown occurs 75% faster. So it works really well. As I said, I've done Mythic Plus. I've been doing time walking. You occasionally you'll get into a situation, you'll die. I'll use that. I typically stay at full health, being a healer. Occasionally might take a hit or something. You throw Riptide on, I'm usually back up to full health. So it works really well, and it has two different effects. So, and um, yeah. just really, just kind of more recently with the Mythic Plus and the Time Walking, have noticed more of what this has been doing. And the effects really don't, what I started to say was the effects really don't necessarily work together per se, but it's a good example of giving an ability two different effects that do work together. The increased life, a lot of things do, I'm noticing. The reducing cooldown, not so much. So either one by themselves would be good. Together, they work well together. So again, would rather take a passive that increases something I already have than to take something else that I don't need. So yeah, so that's pretty much it for the talents. Everything else works more or less as you would assume. So as I said, I kind of have like a hybrid build. So leveling. So I did dungeons first and thought, okay, maybe I'm just under geared or something because it just, like I said, they're just tuned really weird. Um, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. They're tuned really weird. And it was taking forever to get through one. Leveling, which was not my experience on beta. I did one or two of the Ruby life pools, and it was perfectly fine. We just blitzed right through the whole thing. Now that was at 71, well, no, wait, 61, 62, something like that. So maybe we weren't far enough into it for it really to make much of a difference. We were all copied our characters over, and we were all in Shadowlands gear. Like max Shadowlands gear, so maybe that had something to do with it. We were geared a couple levels ahead of what we should have been. Um, so I didn't have um, Ancestral Guardian or Guidance, excuse me, Ancestral Guidance until after I hit max level, I want to say. So I took Lightning Lasso just because I tried playing with it. I want to say in Battle for Azeroth, it's a really fun ability. It has a stun, does damage, really good. You can't really like do questing and stuff with this. You just don't have enough of a cooldown. I had to move Lightning Bolt back onto the command bar because I just needed something as a fill-in spell. Um, However, in PvP, I would run in, I would drop uh, Healing Tide Totem, maybe a Capacitor Totem, Earthbind Totem. I like to drop Earthbind Totem first because it slows. So if you think like Arathi Basin, you go to Lumbermill first. There's a group from the other side you drop. Earthbind Totem, it kind of slows everyone. Then there's more for Capacitor Totem to stun. Um, so it might have done at least one of those two, and then would use like Lightning Lasso, would get my Earth Elemental out, Flame Shock, Lava Burst, all that, and did really well. Was doing really good healing, really good damage. Like they were, it was more like a Disc Priest kind of ratio. And then I got to max level, started doing, like I said, random. Then it was just like PvP just carried over from Shadowlands. Um, One side was just more dominant than the other. It does seem like, as somebody who has played on both Alliance and Horde now in Dragonflight, it does seem like Horde does have a slight benefit for some reason. Don't know why. Um, don't know if it's the cross faction thing taking effect or what. A lot of people said it was going to work the other way. Alliance was going to have more. It was going to be shorter queues. You were going to get more frequent rated matches. I won't say balanced so much, but you weren't going to have to wait forever for a group. That doesn't seem to be the case. Of course, as Horde, there are games you go into and you just get steamrolled right over, of course. However, it does seem like Horde does have a bit of an advantage right now. So, not entirely sure why. Um, been leveling another character on Horde, and she was a little bit below 60. So I've done some just random leveling PvP. Like I said, done PvP on the Alliance side, done max level on the Alliance side, done rated on the Alliance side. It all seems about the same way. Like it's just tilted just enough towards the Horde side for some reason. Um, that being said, so then I got to level, yeah, like I said, I got to max level 70. Um, got geared. Um, got my PvP up to PvP item level up to 400. Um, did a few rated groups. Kind of didn't go well. Like I said, it's just kind of one-sided right now. Um, as far as I could tell, everything worked like it did. As I've been leveling up more, I've been doing less damage. Is basically what I've been noticing. Um, my gear is increasing. I think I'm more or less staying on par with things. It's just for some reason my damage is going down. Or my damage goes up and my healing goes down. Like I can't seem to balance it. Like I have to do one or the other. Um, which is fine, which makes sense. Shaman isn't meant necessarily to be a hybrid class in that same way that like monk or something is. So um, then I did Mythic Plus. I did some older ones, so it was more like doing time walking because I think everybody knew what we were doing. We just blitzed through those. I did one Ruby Life Pool as a um, +4. Yeah, so I don't know if it was just the +4. As far as I know, the difficulty for Mythic Plus increases at +5. Um, so I don't know why +4 was difficult, but we were struggling. That was the one, the tank. I'm not sure how much the tank really knew what they were doing. Um, so blitzed through that, did some time walking. We blitzed through that. So it seems to work in everything else. It's just PvP's a little weird right now, and the Dragonflight dungeons seem to be tuned very oddly, to put it mildly. So yeah. So there you go. There is as simplified a version as I think I could have done. Um, the next part will be me resetting the talents. Okay, so I wanted to reset the talents for restoration. Since I've already done elemental and enhancement, I have unlocked a few dungeons at this point. I've only done Ruby Life Pools from beta. And I came across a Tuskar village, so I thought that would be a good place to sit down by the campfire here, as you can see, and reset the restoration talent. So I have a little bit higher hopes for this since I typically play restoration more than I do the other two specs. Usually play around with elemental and enhancement leveling and then pretty much just stay restoration from there. So elemental and enhancement. Yes, I think that's what I said. Um, so this was the default setup. So I'm going to reset that. And okay, so I haven't actually done anything with the healing tree, which is the first tree. So chain heal, yes. Earth shield, yes. I want to grab astral shift. Increase the number of elemental shields you can have active on yourself by 1. That's interesting. You can have Earth Shield on yourself and 1 ally at the same time. Okay. I want Spirit Walker's Grace. Yes. Increases fire and frost damage you deal. I don't really deal damage. I want Spell Interrupt. Reduce the cooldown of Astral Shift. Astral Shift reduces damage taken by an additional 15%. I'm actually going to take that because I don't use it that often. Gain 5% increased movement speed and 5% damage reduction. Remove snares and increases your movement speed by an additional 5%. Yeah, I think that's probably good. Improve Purify. Yes, I want that. Do I need Capacitor Totem? That I don't know. I don't necessarily need Chain Lightning. Well, I need one more talent, so I guess I'll just take that. I still don't know if I need to take Hex as a talent in order to use the variations of the ability. So I might just skip it just to see, because I don't really use it that often as a healer, which is probably really bad, I admit. Do I want Earth Elemental? We'll come back to that if I have a talent. Reduces the cooldown of Spirit Walker's Grace by 30 seconds and increases the movement speed by 20% while it is active. Reduces the cooldown 30 seconds and increases your movement speed. Okay. When you cast Spirit Walker's Grace, you become immune to silence and interrupt effects. That's probably good. Definitely is worth taking. Reduces cooldown of your totem by 2. Yes. That I can definitely see being a benefit. I actually use totems as a healer. It's about the only totems we have left, so. Okay, so I need 8. So yeah, we'll go ahead and take Earth Elemental. Reduces all magic damage taken by 2. Sure, because that'll probably come in handy for Mythics. Increases the damage of your lightning bolt by 10%. Sure, I guess having a damage ability isn't going to be a bad thing. I'm not taking Chain Lightning. I don't want to worry about this at all. This is mostly just lightning and spell and all of that. It's I don't think it's going to really have much of a benefit for what I'm trying to do. Famous last words, though. I'm running out of things to take. I don't think I need Elemental Orbit. Because that is just going to confuse me, if nothing else. Let's see. Reduces cooldown. Did I take Capacitor Totem? I did. Okay, so reduces cooldown of Capacitor Totem by 5 seconds. Reach enemy stunned up to a reduction of 20 seconds. When Capacitor fades or is destroyed, another Capacitor Totem is automatically dropped on the same place. Fades or is replaced. I think probably static charge. Because this isn't really in Mythics or PvP. This isn't going to be helpful. So yeah, we'll just take that. I don't think when Rush Totem is very helpful. A lot of Shamans take it. I've just never really found it all that helpful. So, do we not have a? Yeah, we probably want an Enrage. So, purge the target, removing 1 beneficial effect. Purge the enemy target, removing 2 beneficial effects. So why is this a choice? Oh, I see. One's got a cooldown on a mana cost, the other one doesn't. No, I think Purge is probably just fine on its own. Um, increases critical strike chance of your nature spells. Pretty sure all my healing spells are nature spells. It's one of those weird things you kind of think is implied, and then when you actually go to look, that's what I like about theory crafting is when you actually go to look to see like, okay, is this, just thinking you're doing something run of the mill, just fact checking yourself, and then you find out that it's not true at all. Um, I do need something else though. I need one more. Thinking I might just take Hex just to have that. See, I don't know if these are different. Well, they both say Hex, so it might not be worth taking just to have that base covered. So, Swirling Currents, I want Mana Spring Totem, restores mana. Yes, I want that. 20% of your damage and healing is converted into healing up to 3. I don't think I need that, but I do need to spend 5 more points. Increase the radius of your totems by 8%. Increase the duration of your Earthbind and Earth Grab totem by 5 seconds. Increase the duration of your Healing Stream, Tremor, Poison Cleansing, Ancestral Protection, Earthen Wall, and Windrush totems by 1.5. Summon a totem at your feet that removes 1 poison effect from a nearby party or raid member within 30 seconds. Okay. So again, why do we have Greater Purge? Well, that's beneficial magic effect. This is... Well, okay, I'm getting two things confused. So Purge and Greater Purge would be the target. This actually affects party members. So I'm confusing two different things. Never mind. So radius of your totems, so I get a benefit from that. Healing Stream, but I don't use anything else, so this is kind of pointless. I don't know. Thunderstorm's kind of tempting. It would be nice to have a knockback. I think I might take that just to be ornery. Thunderstorm knocks enemies up instead of away, and its cooldown is reduced by 5 seconds. Lightning Lasso, stunning them for a 10 of nature damage. Target is lassoed, can move while channeling. I want when your health is brought below 35% health, instantly heal. For 20% of maximum health cannot occur for yeah, I was gonna say that's pretty good because I tend to forget to heal myself. Reduces the cooldown of your hex by 15 seconds. When hex ends, the target is slowed by 4 seconds. Okay, so I've seen all 3 specs now, and I'm starting to believe the talents for your totems are just not very good. Your next healing or damaging nature spell. Now, see, that's confusing because your next healing or damaging nature spell. So you can read this 2 different ways, either implying that they're both nature abilities or that healing is separate. Healing or nature or damaging nature spell. I think it's implying both, is how I would read that. 2 points. Just 2 points. Do I even have any fire? Oh yeah, I've got Flame Shock and Lava Lash. Yeah, okay. Relocate your active totems to the new. I just have no idea. Like, they're not. Anyone used to playing Shaman is not going to use Healing Tide Totem at a point right before you're going to move. So I don't see the point of that. Increases your leech and stamina. Well, if I took Ancestral Guardian, well, I don't do damage though. That's the thing. Increases critical strike chance of your nature spells. You know what? I'm just gonna take that because I'm pretty sure all my abilities are nature abilities. So, Riptide, yes. Deluge, yes. Healing Wave. Healing Wave I don't actually use. Wait, what did I take over here? Healing Stream Totem. Yeah, so if you already know Healing Stream Totem, instead gain 1 additional charge of oh, okay. Alright. Yeah, having 2 of those is pretty good. A Healing Rain, yes. Cleanse Spirit, Wind Shear, Purge, and Totem. Cost no longer cancel Ghost Wolf form. Okay. Stormkeeper, which was your charge yourself with lightning, causing your next two. Yeah, this was the Elemental Legion artifact ability. That's weird. Okay. Ancestral Vigor, target you heal with Healing Wave. Healing Surge, Chain Heal, or Riptide's initial heal, gain 5% health. Yeah, we'll go ahead and take that. Tidal Waves, yes. Increases the damage of your Lightning Bolt, Chain Lightning by, okay. Healing Rain instantly restores health to 6 allies within the area, and its radius is increased by 2 yards. Yeah. When you consume tidal waves, the cast time of your next heal is reduced by 10%. Yes. Water Totem Mastery. Interesting. Consuming tidal waves reduces the cooldown of your healing spell, Healing Tide, Mana Spring, Mana Tide, and Poison Cleansing Totem by 0.5 seconds. Consuming reduces the cooldown. Okay. I mean, you have enough. I don't really think the cooldown's really an issue. I would rather spend a point in something else. Increases the healing of Chain Heal by 8%. It causes it to bounce to an additional target. Yes, that is good. Anytime you can get that to bounce is usually a good thing. Your Healing Surge is 20% more effective on yourself. Casting Lava Burst increases the damage and healing of your next nature, physical, or frost spell. Okay, well that's going to be no benefit, as I said, I don't really do... I don't really do any damage. Increases the duration of that, yes. Healing Tide Totem, yes. Mana Tide Totem. Didn't I already take Mana Tide Totem? Summon a totem at the feet of the... for 2 minutes. That restores mana to you and 4 allies nearest to the totem within 30 yards. When you cast Lava Burst or Riptide, allies can only benefit from 1 mana spring totem at a time, prioritizing healers. Summon a totem for 8 seconds, granting 100% increased mana regeneration. Oh, okay. Well, I don't want this. I want... Oh, dear. Now I've got to pick something else. Yeah, we want this. Oh, they make this so difficult. I might take Lightning Lasso just to have like 1 big damage ability. It stuns, I kind of like that. This was a PvP ability for a while, and it was really fun to play with. So we'll just go with that. It's fine. Okay. So every 3rd healing wave or healing surge heals for just 50%. Used that before. I'd rather have Unleash Life, I think. Because this is really weird, because you don't know that that 3rd one is going to be the one you need the additional healing. So you can kind of overheal and end up wasting it. So Riptide, Healing Wave, and Healing Surge increase. Chain Heal, 50% additional healing, bounce to additional target. So again, anytime it bounces is pretty good. Healing Rain and Downpour, which I'm probably not going to take. 2 additional allies healed. 20% of overhealing done is converted into an absorption. Yeah, we're just going to go with that. Riptide and Lava Burst have additional charges. Yeah, that's fine. Totem Wall. Summon a totem at the target location for 15 seconds. Damage from each attack against allies within 10 yards of the totem is redirected to the totem. Okay. Ancestral Protection Totem. All allies within 20 yards of the totem gain 10% increased health. If an ally dies, the totem will be consumed. The ally will be consumed to allow them to reincarnate with 20% health and mana. Cannot reincarnate an ally who dies to massive damage. Yeah, see, I don't really see a benefit there. Need to take 2 of something. They don't make this easy, do they? So you get kind of a setup you like, and then they make you take something else, so it ends up kind of diluting what you're trying to do. Yeah, I don't like either one of those. Your Flame Shock, damage over time, has a 50% chance to reset the cooldown of Lava Burst. Cause your next Lava Burst to be instantaneous. Yeah, that's fine. A little bit of damage doesn't hurt. And being a healer, using intellect and all that, you kind of end up... it's kind of like elemental, you kind of end up buffing those abilities, so... Healing Wave I just don't need. It's the cheaper version of Healing Surge. I'd rather just use Healing Surge. One more. I need to spend 1 more. So healing stream, healing, mana spring, mana tide. Yeah, I might just take that. Reduced cooldown isn't terrible. Healing stream totem heals for 10% more each time it ticks. Cloudburst totem. Don't particularly care for Cloudburst totem. For some reason, almost every shaman seems to take that. Primordial Wave, they are really pushing that. When you critically heal with your Healing Wave, Healing Surge, or Riptide, you summon an ancestral spirit to aid you. Ooh. Instantly heal the lowest percent health friendly party or raid target within 40 yards for 10% of the amount healed. Okay. Earthen Harmony. Earth Shield healing is increased by 50% if your Earth Shield target is below 75% health. Healing Wave and Healing Surge. Add a stack of Earth Shield to your target up to 9 maximum stacks. That seems very good. 75% health is a very good stat line. Usually it's like 50, 30. It's like so low that it almost doesn't do any good. So the main difference I'm seeing here is increased by 50%, increased by 100%. So yeah, we'll go ahead and take that. The primary target of your chain heal is healed for an additional 20%. Do I need Ascendant? Healing distributed evenly? Probably. Overcharge your mana for 8 seconds, increasing your haste by 10% and healing done by 10%, while overcharge your mana regeneration is halted. Okay. Probably, because I typically will heal the tank and then let it bounce, so probably. Now I still have 4. I don't want Downpour. Each time it ticks, yeah, that's fine. Increases the initial hail of Whiptide, yeah, that's fine. Imbue your weapon with an element of Earth for 1 hour. Your Riptide, Healing Wave, Healing Surge, and Chain Heal. Healing, a 20% chance to trigger Earth Living on the target, healing them for a large amount over 12 seconds. I don't know. Effects on weapons for healing I have found work kind of weird. Just double check there's not anything else I want to take. On yourself. Blast your target with a primordial wave, dealing shadow damage, which is just weird to me as a shaman. And apply flame shock to the enemy or heal an ally. And apply Riptide to them. Your next healing wave will also hit all targets affected by your Riptide. It makes me think of Paladin ability. Um, hmm. One more. Just one more. Increase the damage of your lightning bolt and chain lightning. Well, that's not going to be very beneficial. Cleansing Spirit, Wind Shear, Purge, and Totem Cast no longer cancel Ghost Whoop. I don't know. Is there much of a benefit there? Thinking like Mythic Plus maybe? PvP maybe? Because typically a totem, well, I'm thinking healing. CC totems might be beneficial. Because I was thinking you typically use a totem as a support for another ability. So that might be helpful. I might take that. So I just have no urge to try Primordial Wave. By the time you... I've noticed one thing. By the time you actually set your talents up so that you have the abilities and things where, you know, everything vaguely seems familiar again, you're pretty much out of talent points. So we'll go ahead and lock that in, see what's changed. Okay, so let's look at the spellbook here. I have Flame Tongue Weapon for some reason. Primordial Strike for some reason. Thunderstorm, there we go. So I will put you... I don't know. Where do I want to put you? Oh yeah, and it looks like I already had, well, no, it probably dropped it down there. I was going to say, it looks like I already had Lightning Lasso. I was going to say, where do I want this where I'll actually remember what the knockback does? Well, it's kind of an AoE, so I guess I'll just put it there for the time being. That's perfectly fine. I need more room. Yeah, I'll just take Lightning Bolt off for right now. And yeah, it's weird to think like one page, that's all my restoration abilities right there. So as I said, once you take pretty much everything you're used to having, so Riptide, Healing Surge, Earth Shield, Chain Heal, Healing Rain, Healing Tide Totem, Unleash Life, Spirit Link Totem, Ascendant, Mana Tide Totem, Healing Stream Totem, and then of course Healing Wave is the cheaper, slower version of Healing Surge. So, yeah. Spirit Walker's Grace, Astral Shift, Purge, Purify Spirit, which these abilities like these used to be baseline. Did I not get Water Shield? Was there an option for water shield? Water shields. Oh, yeah, I missed it. Because it wanted you to take... Oh, okay. Um... Hmm. I wonder if I need to change anything for that. Is there anything I wasn't happy with? If I change this... I might take that as I level up. I might take Healing Wave, and that was my fault. I've got to get better at looking at the next talent to know whether I need to take the previous one. Which is weird because I've taken, almost everything around it. Yeah. Yeah, so that I think is what I might do is because I just got a point for restoration. So let me see here, 60. So 66 will be for Shaman. 8. So I should get 3 more points for restoration. Yeah. I might. Again, if I don't take something, um, I lose an ability that I'm used to having. So, I mean, I don't need Ascendance necessarily. It's just kind of a good cooldown to have. I'm probably going to need that for Mythics, though, if I do those. I'll see how bad mana is. See how my mana regeneration is, and then go from there. So, yeah. So there you go, folks. Hope you enjoyed that, and thank you for watching.